Rated G, rated PG, rated PG-13, rated NC-17, and rated R are certification marks owned by the Motion Picture Association, Inc. This podcast has not been rated or certified pursuant to the Motion Picture Association, Inc.'s film rating system, nor is this podcast authorized by, endorsed by, or affiliated with the Motion Picture Association, Inc. Welcome to Everything Gets Berated, where we talk about everything other than indie horror and sometimes indie horror. I'm Anferny.
Hello. I am Brian with a B, damn it. My whole name shows, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it shows.
What if I have to go get one of those legal IDs or real IDs? You think I could put that on my ID?
Probably not.
Oh, sweet God. Oh, I didn't stir that at all. Folks, let's cut that out. Let's cut that whole part out. Oh, we are much waited for years. I have waited to watch this movie, and I'm so tempted to call my friend right now because I text him. I was like, dude, you want to do this? He's like, dude, I haven't seen the movie in years. I was like, yeah, you hurt my feelings when you watched it without me. So really close friend of ours. He was in the movie. He was in Don Quixote Mobster Hunter. He played a couple roles actually, but we used to watch indie films all the time, and a movie came out and we vowed that we would watch this movie together and that we are not allowed to watch it without the other person being there, but he decided to move really far away. And he decided to watch that movie without me. And I held up my part of the promise of not watching it, And then finally it became, like, it was on TV for, like, a long time, too, and everything like that. And so I was like, you know what? Fuck it. It's time to watch this movie. I've waited years to watch it. We're going to be talking about Ma today, tonight, whatever we want to say it. Ma. Yes. You want to...
2019 horror film. So this
Only
was
2019?
2019.
No fucking
not that long
way.
ago. Yeah, not that long ago.
No
directed
way.
by Tate Taylor, who also directed The Help and Get On Up, the James Brown biopic.
You don't know.
Well, yeah. Which also starred, or Octavia Spencer was in that as well. So they've worked together a few times.
Is that the dad?
He's the officer that shows up the first time and warns them, to leave. Otherwise, he's going to arrest them.
That was in the movie Rad.
Not that guy with a huge cookie duster. But this movie stars Octavia Spencer as Sue Ann, Diana Silvers as Maggie, Juliette Lewis from Natural Born Killers as Erica, McKaley Miller as Haley, and Corey Fogelmanis as Andy.
Who the fuck was Andy?
Andy is the son of Ben Hawkins, who that's Luke Evans.
Okay.
Who's been in a bunch of stuff. And also in this movie, two other people to probably mention. Missy Pyle, who played Mercedes, the girlfriend of Ben Hawkins. She's hilarious. She's been in a bunch of comedy roles. And Allison Janney is the vet that Ma works for, Dr. Brooks.
Ma, like, I don't know, man. So much to say about her, So what's your gist?
So, a girl who was bullied in high school, but with a cruel prank where she goes down on somebody who is not Ben Hawkins and is, because he's outside the room. It's a different guy because it's dark in there.
No.
Yeah.
I have that in my notes.
So. But
nope, I have
that's why I saw it. But like she buys booze for a bunch of teenagers and then invites them over to her house to party on multiple occasions, and then takes revenge and tries to murder them and their parents.
Okay. So my gist is a not so popular, semi unattractive girl is in love with this guy in high school, and she blows him in a closet, and she gets caught. But instead of being praised by the other high school loosey gooseys, she's made fun of. Excuse me. And she's a nerd after that for the rest of her life until she buys alcohol for some high school kids. And then she tries to bang them. But by the time that's around, she's really not banging anymore. But luckily, she did kill all of her bullies, though, and she bangs her bully's son. And then, for some reason, I have Robin dancing by myself music.
I don't know where you got that.
I mean, Dancing on My Own, I think is the name of that song, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful song,
I know
man.
what song you're talking about. It's a good
Next
song.
time we do a movie, I don't care what kind of movie it is, I want to do a fucking solo dance myself.
We could do that. There's room for that in our concept that we
I'm going
can't
to
talk
put
about.
just headphones on and I'll dance in my room like Napoleon Dynamite. But we have to find a song that, you know, lines up with it. Otherwise, everyone's going to be like, what the fuck? Why is the guy dancing clearly off beat, but he's dancing to the beat of Dancing on My Own by Robin?
We have to find music that we can use, that we're allowed to use.
Yeah. So the movie, I remember it starts out like in the Swamp People TV locations with my favorite handicap actress. She's, what's her name? Jennifer. What's the mom's name?
Oh, what, Juliette Lewis?
Yeah. She's banging, dude. But like I said, she plays every movie that she's in. She always plays a special needs person. Who knows why, man?
I don't think she's special needs.
In every movie she is. But not this
really?
one. You know? Dude, I'm telling you, man, she's been in a bunch of movies. But anyways.
Yeah, she's been around for a while, since the 90s.
She is hot, though. She's hot as fuck. Oh, is that going to pull it over there? No. All right. So I was guessing the mom was like recently divorced or something. And so they moved to like a new town to find a new life, you know? And then it brings the question again of, have you ever been to a new school, like on the first day you go and so you don't know where anything is? Like you just show up there and you're just like, hey, this is my first day of school.
Like
I never even been to the school. I'm just here to do everything.
This was like an 80s, 90s thing, and they try to like go back and make that a thing. And, you know, she just doesn't know anybody. But I think you would, nowadays, everything is so handled that you wouldn't see this scenario if you just started a new school.
Well, I always feel like whenever there's a movie about a kid going to school, they move in like that night. And they're just like, all right, get up bright and early because you got school tomorrow morning. Like, you didn't take a tour of the school. You don't know where your fucking homeroom is, or
yeah, really.
You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, her daughter's Maggie, and she's just fucking super popular. I was just assuming it's because she has a hot mom. You know?
Well, I mean, I think she either finds herself with the cool kids or she finds herself with the party crowd.
But somehow,
I don't know if they're cool or not.
You know what I'm saying? Somehow she became like part of that cool kids. But it was also kind of weird because like the cool kids or whatever like drove around in a fucking molester van.
Well, yeah, which that is Andy's dad's work van.
But it looked like a molester van. It looked like the words were scraped off of the side of it, and you know. And then, have you ever had to go to the gas station and ask random people to buy you alcohol? Have you ever done that?
Never in my life.
Like, I've never done that. I don't think my friends have ever done that. I mean, they probably did when I wasn't around, but I feel Like they were parked like right out front. So anybody who was like the employee working is like, "Hey, I see you right there. Like, I saw you talking to that person. Now this person's buying alcohol, and now that person's gonna give it to you." Like, it didn't seem very smart.
Yeah, because they could still be held liable and get the liquor license taken away, right? If they don't do something, it's like just because you sell the cigarettes to a person who gives them to a kid, like you can still be held responsible for that.
I just you weren't very sneaky. Zero
No, they
sneaky.
weren't. You got to be away from the building.
Or like around the corner. Like those are the
Yeah,
kids that, for this mission you can do it stealth, or you can come in guns blazing. They're like, you know
you
what?
can be obvious.
Let's go. Guns blazing. Then thankfully there was that creepy black lady with the three-legged dog that buys them all their stuff, and you clearly can tell right there off the bat that she was not popular at
Yeah, because
all.
at first she says no, and then she looks at it as an opportunity to recapture something, I guess.
To get some of that young high school wiener that she ever craved from.
Apparently from Andy.
Dude, Andy was getting, you know. So I don't know about you, but I also, if I was ever to ask an adult for alcohol, I would be like, "Hey, my name's Brian with a B. My birthday's, this, and I live right here. Can you give me some alcohol?" They'd be like, "Why'd you give me all that information about you?"
Yeah,
And
really.
then,
No, you would just ask, right?
yeah, but she goes home somehow and like stalks all of them on social media.
Oh, and she calls the what is it? She calls the cops to let the cops know where they
Yeah,
are and
that
where
was
they're drinking.
yeah. And then that was like, did you ever have a place? I think we talked about this on our episode with Eric.
Yeah.
A place like they're like, we're gonna go to the rock pile and fucking drink. Is there only one rock pile in your area? Everybody was like, "Hey, Anthony, meet me by the dirt pile."
Yeah, it was like the rock pile. There's no like the rock pile on, Third and Main or the
Yeah,
rock
there's like, "Oh,
pile
we're going to
like
the construction site." Which construction site you going to, bro? Like,
yeah.
what?
But this
You
is supposed to
know,
be like the ruins or whatever because it looks very like old architecture that's been partially taken down but not really.
it looked like people were lazy and they were going to build a wall out of concrete, and then somebody broke a hole through it, and they're just like, "You know what? I'm done."
Yeah.
They just left it up there, you know. But was there a cave too? Because then Sue-Ann, that's that woman's name, Sue-Ann,
Yeah.
she fucking calls up Andy's dad and tells him, and Andy's dad's in the middle of getting fucking head, and so he then had to stop getting head and had to uh I guess call the police or something, you
Yeah.
know? And then have you ever done something probably not legal, and then your friend's mom tell on you to your mom?
Uh I when I was a kid, yeah. Like it was a small town, so like if you did something and your dad knew somebody, they would feel the need to, call and say what you did if it was important enough.
No, we got into some substances once. I don't remember how old we were, but I don't know, eighth or ninth grade, and we went to my friend's house to um, just hang out for a bit, and we talked about the party, and his mom was fucking listening to us, like eavesdropping on us. So I think like the next couple of days, all of a sudden, she calls my mom and it's like, "Hey, Brian was talking about taking hits and doing something like this at a party." And I was like, "You motherfucker," you know? So she fucking ratted us out. And so my mom, like, I've never lied to my mom. Well, for the most part, I've never lied to my mom. It's like, "Brian, were you doing this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was." Like, I'm not going to lie to my mom. Like, that's the worst thing
Yeah.
you can do, you know? So Yeah, but it's even more messed up is years and years and years. I never told her, like, hey, I fucking know it was you. Like, you betrayed me, fucking et tu, Brute. Like, and for years, she kept fucking, like, uh, she kept calling me, like, elder thug and everything like that. She kept wanting me, like, she thought I was, like, a good kid. And she was like, oh, my kid needs to take after you. I was like, remember that time you got us? You caught us doing some stuff and you told my mom? Yeah. So then I got back at her because her daughter tried to bang me. But anyways, so then it goes on, and Sue Ann sucks at her job.
Oh yeah, there are multiple occasions she is told to stay off her cell phone, answer the phone at work, and pay attention, and shave a dog. Pay it like just do the basics. She's basically like a vet tech.
Is that? Yeah, I didn't even know if she was that. Well, I mean, she had to do something
Well,
because later on in the movie she starts grabbing drugs, But everything
well, she's
she was
grabbing
doing,
Ativan. That's Ativan.
her boss knows that she sucks too. Because boss is like, God damn it, Carol, did you fucking do this? And she's like, no. And she's like, are you going to answer the phone? And she's like, oh, am I supposed to answer the phone? And you're like, what? That's literally the only thing that you're supposed to do is answer the phone.
I guess this is like the best help you can get in a small town. And since nobody else is really moving there, she doesn't have tons of competition for her job.
See, later on in the movie, it'll all point something out. But this obviously can't be too small of a town.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be too small of a town because they have the rock pile where it's super cool to go and get your liquor from. But later on, when she runs into the ex, and he's like, what? You work here? Oh, like,
oh
really?
Yeah. And his wife is or his girlfriend, Mercedes, is being, she's being terrible. It's like clearly she's embarrassed that she works here, and she doesn't want people to know that she works there. So she like continues to ask loud questions and point it out.
No. Well, we'll get to that, I think, later.
But the head scene, that came before this, right?
Yeah, that was when they called the police, when he was getting his
one of the funniest parts in this movie. It's like just little bits of comedy where like clearly he is either unfocused or he's not enjoying it, because like he tells her to stop and then she tries to start, and then he tells her to stop. Tells her to stop again. And then she does this little comedy bit where she hits her head on the roof. I thought that was pretty good.
See, I just don't, I love Roadhead like the next person, but if you guys aren't doing anything, just go home. You know what I'm saying? Just
exactly.
go home. Mm-hmm. So then Sue Ann drives this big ass old truck and she lures the kids back to her place. And she
this is the first time,
she acts like it's some gigantic drug deal. When they try to give her the money, she's like, no, follow me. She's like, come on, man, I got eyes on me. Has eyes on me.
Who's watching her?
Exactly. Probably the fucking FBI, because there's like, who is this creepy weirdo?
Yeah, really.
There's a weird guy that lives in my neighborhood. And because of him, I got like a Predator app just to make sure that he's all right.
He's
all right,
where it shows you the map of everybody around you.
Yeah.
And then you question your choices in life.
No. But for his sake, he's lucky that he wasn't on it. But so then for some stupid reason, the kids decide to go and hang out in her murder basement.
Oh, yes.
But then it's not enough that she gave you a place indoors with air conditioning and shit like that. I mean, it did look like shit. You should have turned around and left right there. That's your red flag. Yeah. But then they're like, you got any pizza rolls and shit? Like,
wait.
What?
So then there's the one kid and so this is the first sort of obvious red flag that you're dealing with a psychopath, because she's boundary testing at this point. when he says, you know what you need to make this amazing? You need this and this and this. And I forget the list he gives, but then she like grabs the gun and points it at him and tells him to strip.
I think
And
that was a different one.
that was the first time they were there. Because he gets like inches from her face.
Yeah, like he tried to like intimidate her to buying cool stuff for their basement. And his quote was like, unless you don't want to be cool. And I'd be
like okay, small child.
Yeah,
but
points a gun at him and makes him strip like fucking DMX did to Black and fucking Belly.
Oh,
like, strip!
Right.
And he fucking made him get butt naked.
But that was like her first boundary test to see how far she could push these kids and how gullible and pliable they were. Because as soon as she starts laughing, they all start laughing, and it's funny. It's a joke.
How many of your friends have you seen naked?
Not that many. None.
I'm trying to think if I've ever seen any of my friends naked, you know? Yeah, I don't know. And then especially after, like if I was like, hey, Anthony, get naked. I had a gun to you. It's like, oh, I'm just kidding. Get dressed. You want to get fucked up right now? All right, let's go, bro. Pour some shots. Wouldn't it be like, hey, Brian, that ruined the night?
Yeah.
Like, no. And then on top of that, like she also, that clearly showed that she gives into peer pressure.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Because she's like, instead of being like, you know what? I'm an adult. I can fucking pay for anything I want right now. I don't have a curfew. I can go fucking have ice cream for dinner if I want. You guys are still in high school. You guys are losers. You fucking can't do shit without your dick and balls. You know?
Yeah.
So then Sue Ann has that flashback where she starts cleaning her basement to prep up for the next party, though.
Okay, yeah.
So you're already planning on, you know, having another party with these little kids, and you're like, what the fuck, man? Like
It's a little weird.
Yes.
Very strange.
What do you call it? Oh, so then what's her name? Erica. Erica is Maggie's mom. Maggie's mom, she works at a casino.
Which I'm assuming this is like a town next to an Indian reservation, because around the time that this would have been shot, the only way you can have a casino is on an Indian reservation.
Yeah, because they're sure as fuck aren't in goddamn Vegas. Because
like
no basements in Vegas.
Yeah.
And no fucking way in hell I would ever go out.
No brick houses either.
I wouldn't go out drinking with you in the fucking middle of summer in the goddamn, hey, you want to meet at the rock pile in the middle of summer? No, I don't. Because I want to fucking...
I mean, they're throwing a bonfire, so it's like, it's probably winter. Or near.
I don't know. But, so, Maggie's mom probably wasn't the coolest kid either, because that's where we meet Mercedes.
Yes.
Mercedes and her boyfriend,
Ben.
whatever.
Ben Hawkins. Ben Hawkins, the guy that owns the company with the large fleet of vans.
Grabbing kids left and right. And they start giving her shit, her work. You know, like, do you work here? She's like, no, I just dress like this and give people drinks, you know?
Which I think she's trying to be, like, funny because she's, like, clearly doesn't want people to know she works there. And she doesn't really want to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, you know.
But Mercedes is not picking up on context clues because she becomes louder and asks more questions.
Mercedes, with a name like that, your parents already had your life set out for you.
Which what is it? There's that scene later where Erica asks Andy what he thinks of Mercedes, and he says, "I'm more of a Porsche person."
Oh yeah.
And then he goes, "She's a bitch." And then Erica's like, "Okay, we're done. We're done. I don't want to talk about this anymore."
No. So then there's a next scene where fucking Ma gets a gigantic ass box of liquor and puts it, goes, okay, so what? No. Fucking grabs a box of liquor and puts it in front of the kid's van while it's parked at school.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, that's normal. Never mind.
What if you never notice it and you just get in the van? You just ran over.
You don't do the circle of safety every time you get in and out of your vehicle?
I don't.
when we were in Idaho, you had to take a couple weeks of driver's training classes, and then you had to have so many hours of driving, right? And there was this fucking asshole in our class, and we were learning about the circle of safety. And he's like, whatever the stupid bitch's name was, she was my 8th grade speech teacher. And she always had a problem with me for some reason because everybody would just laugh at me for no reason, even if I was trying to do like a serious speech. But she'd be mad at me, and I was like, dude, I'm giving you my speech, and then just because my friends are laughing, I get in trouble. Like, that's not fair to me.
That's not.
Fucking, you'll meet Eric, a different Eric. He wants to be on an episode with us.
All right.
But his fucking ass, we had to do a argumentative speech, and I was arguing that the Loch Ness Monster was real. I had pictures of it, and he's like, that's bullshit. And I was like, what the hell? And so the teacher got mad at me, But anyways, so she fucking leaves this gigantic ass box of liquor. Oh, wait, before that. So in the driver's training class, the guy, he asked the teacher, like, so we're doing the circle of safety. He goes, yeah. And he goes, you're supposed to do that every time you get out of you get into your vehicle? She's like, yes, you're supposed to do it too. He goes, then how come I saw you didn't do it yesterday leaving class? And she's like, God damn it, Brandon. She's like, just because I didn't do it doesn't mean you don't have to do it. She's like, do the circle of safety. And he's like, okay. But anyways, if they didn't do the circle of safety, they wouldn't have seen that gigantic ass box of fucking liquor. And then she goes up to him like she's hiding behind like a wall.
And then we're using some nondescript social media because she sends them a direct message video.
But how many brick walls are there? Like, the park up here off of like Mountain's Edge, how it has that wall, but it has like stuff on it.
Yeah.
There's just a random brick wall. And she's like hiding behind it, listening to the kids talk. And she's like, hey, let's throw a rager. And the kid's like, okay, I guess it's Tuesday. Let's fucking have a rager at Ma's house tonight. Which again, I've asked it before, I don't remember. Did you have ragers during Monday through Thursday and you were in high school?
Generally not.
Dude.
Feels like a bad idea. Because these kids get wasted.
I want to get wasted. Anyways, so Ma's finally cool, but the kids are like 30 years younger than her.
Yeah. And we hear some pretty banger songs in this soundtrack. You got, Everybody Was Kung Fu Fighting.
Uh-huh.
And you got, what was the other one I was thinking of?
There's a bunch of, I don't know. There's some DMX songs, I think, that was going down.
Yeah, but this is a good soundtrack.
Yeah. So they have a party now. It's like a gigantic ass rager. And there's that scene where that girl pretends to be asleep on the couch.
Oh, yeah, because she's the pastor's daughter who wants to be cool, but she can't drink, so she just goes to the parties and pretends to be passed out.
Dude, I didn't know them, but I have seen people that would take alcohol and dump it out and then fill it up with water and then walk around parties with it. And I'm just like, why? Like,
because you want to be part of the party and you want to be accepted, but you don't want to drink.
Be yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had a bunch of friends that were doing like cocaine and meth and shit like that. I was like, hell yeah, guys, let me get a fucking rip of this. Like, I'd be like, no, that's okay. Like, I don't know. Maybe I just never had to give in to peer pressure, thankfully. But I've also been to places too, like even as an adult, if we're sitting there and they're like, you guys want to drink? I'll be like, no, I got to drive my kid home. Or no, I got to drive later. I'm not going to drink. Oh, I got to do this. I'm not going to drink. It's perfectly fine to say no. You don't have to give in. Then there was this time that there's somebody, like we were talking with them, and we were talking about peer pressure and doing drugs and alcohol. And the funniest diss I've ever heard in my life, they were talking. He's like, I've never done drugs. And we're like, that's because you were just never cool enough and nobody offered them to do them with you. Like, you can't brag about, you know what I'm saying?
It's
You
not
can't be like,
really lack of, or it's not greater willpower. It's just lack of
yeah.
opportunity.
You'd be like, I've held my virginity for 45 years. That's what?
That's, ain't nobody trying to
That's
get that. That's
that's
what it
not a
is.
brag, bro. You
That's
know?
it's really not a brag.
Yeah. So then Ma gets peer pressure to take a shot from high school kids.
Well, yeah, and she says she doesn't drink because she wouldn't like what she becomes when she drinks.
Yeah. And so then she's like, oh, yeah, sorry. The very first thing she ever said was like, you're not allowed upstairs. Right.
Oh yeah, and
So then Ma takes,
the two girls
they go
decide to go
upstairs to take a
upstairs.
shit.
Yeah, and they discover her daughter, who has
No.
been. Oh wait, not yet.
Nope. Well, let's end it now.
And
No, they just went upstairs because they heard a sound. But no. They went upstairs to take a shit together because that's what women do or girls do. And then when they come out of the bathroom, Ma kicks their asses, like fucking beats their asses up. You know?
gee, yeah, and this should have been like the first moment where you're like, I think we're done. We don't need to do this anymore. We, just like steal a bottle from our parents and hope we don't get caught.
Dude, that's another thing too. We never had liquor in our house, but like I had a couple friends that would like drink their parents' vodka and then just put water back in the bottle. And you're just like, God, dude, I cannot imagine.
And then your
now,
parents are going to realize that it's water and be really mad at you.
Gross. One time, Donnie, my younger brother, he thought he was funny, and he caught me though. It's not alcohol related, but remember when Gatorade Clear was out, where it was just Gatorade, but it was like clear, so it looked like water. He fucking drank my entire Gatorade, and then just refilled with water. You know. And so, like, I was really like, I didn't notice it until like, I think we went to, I can't remember if I went to fight or something. And then he's like, how was that Gatorade? I was like, fine. And he's like, I drank it. That was just water. And I was like, motherfucker, it was kind of weird, but you're smelling it. And then you're drinking it. So you're like, okay, I guess, but like, I really was hoping that like, that would have been like my shittiest performance ever. Because I was like dehydrated or something and been like, that's why I fucking lost or something. But no, didn't happen. Right?
Yeah.
Excuse me. So then Ma apparently also doesn't know how to Photoshop very good.
Oh yeah.
So
no, she's just like cutting out pictures and putting on top of other pictures like an insane person. Because she is insane.
Dude. And then she does like the level 4 clinger and like is texting Maggie like 400 times, like, please forgive me, I'm an adult, please. And she goes to the school and gets fucking dissed by the blonde chick, and she gets fucking raging pissed.
Yeah,
and then
then she lies about cancer, right?
No, nowhere near that yet.
Oh, we're not there yet. Okay.
No. Then Ma, this is the fucked up part. I kind of felt bad. Ma goes and buys a different group of kids alcohol.
Yes.
She's like, oh, well, guess what? I'm going to go buy these kids then. And she tries to lure them over to her house, but then they did the milkshake challenge on her ass. And as soon as she fucking gives them the alcohol, they're like, bye, bitch. They take like a gigantic milkshake and throw it at her and it explodes and like call her a loser or flip her off. And you're just like, this town is obviously small enough where you know her, Yeah. So the fact that you just flipped her off and called her a loser, like, I don't think she has much to live for. Like, I feel like she would hunt you down and murder you,
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. So I think this is at the point she's not taking their money anymore. She's just buying their alcohol. Because otherwise that would be an expensive prank to you know, give her the money and have her, you know, go all the way back to her house and throw a milkshake at her.
Well, I think that she was just trying to hopefully get them to come in,
Yeah.
you know? But then Ma has like a gigantic ass party and she got like all dolled up trying to look all cute, but you know,
Wearing her best velvet suit.
Jesus.
So 70s.
And then Ma makes everybody take a shot, and I was like, oh, they're going to be drugged. There's coming some drugs right now.
Which, okay, so this was at the point I had to look it up because she is getting Ativan from work. And as far as I know, you inject Ativan. You don't drink Ativan. So I was wondering, like, could you drink Ativan?
Well, I don't know
If
much
you can
about that.
take an, the thing is, I think if you can take an Ativan pill, you can. But at this point, you're essentially microdosing because if it takes, you know, like an ml or whatever, you know, to like to get the effect of a shot because it has to work through the muscle into the bloodstream or into the through the fat through the muscle into the bloodstream. She would have had to do small amounts and really be microdosing. Otherwise, she's going to kill somebody.
You think that she has any
What,
care if she
medical
kills everybody?
expertise? I don't think she cares if she kills people, but nobody dies, so hopefully she knew what she was doing.
She might have been smart, man. But, like, there's always I don't know how real it is. You know, if you eat a drug, you get this much percent of it. If you snort a drug, you get this much percent of it. And if you put it up your ass, you get this much
Oh,
percent of it.
which is
You
the
know?
highest percentage
Now,
because
you
that's the
know,
mucosa. Just
it would have
that's
just been amazing. She's like, all right, everybody, take your pants down. We're going to start butt chugging these shots. You know, like those people
they'd be
that put,
dead.
dude,
Alcohol and
those,
Ativan, yeah, they'd be dead.
well, I mean, that's clearly what they were doing. You know, like, could you imagine? I don't know. I've heard stories of people soaking tampons and putting them up their ass
Yeah,
with
I've heard about
vodka.
that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, it's okay. I don't need to. I can be sober. I
Yeah.
don't need that. You know. So then
I'll never drink again. I'm good.
you're like, yes, I'm trying to help you not drinking. If you put it up your ass, you're not drinking it. All right. This one tampon has lasted me 5 days.
It's a bender.
But so, God, could you imagine like forgetting that you put up there and you like go to sleep with it still? Good God,
You'd wake up drunk if you
my
woke up.
God, dude. So then Ma keeps hovering over Maggie and Andy and like stalking them, and then Maggie just wakes up in some random ass room and her knees are all fucked up and her earrings are gone.
Yeah.
Like,
So her, what is it? Her earrings are gone, and Haley's
there's a
mother's
ring,
ring.
and then that girl's
Yeah.
bracelet.
The girl's bracelet. So she's taking, you know, priceless items to people as like a scent. All of this feels like control. Like she was trying to control the way that they act and live.
Yeah. Somebody in high school once tried to steal a pair of my jeans. And I was like, what the fuck, bro? You know? But have you ever been fucking drugged?
I have never been drugged.
Are you ready to?
What, did you prepare my tea?
I did. Any minute now. We got to hurry up, actually, because you're not going to remember anything in about 4 minutes. But no, like I've been drugged twice out here already.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And what's really even messed up is that it's at bars, not at
Really?
houses. Yeah. You know, my brother, I think he's been drugged, he says twice. And it's so random because, like, the first time I got drugged, like, I went to the bartender and we had a same tattoo, except mine was in a different spot, right? And that was my second drink. And I remember my friends being like, dude, you were fucking hammered. And I was like, dude, this is only my second drink of like the night, not my second drink here, second drink of the night. And I don't know, like they were just like, no, you were hammered. Like they said, like I was just like, I was acting like I was like a blacked out drunk. Like I was just, but I mean, you know me, like I'm a social butterfly, you know, but they're like,
Yeah.
no, like it was different. Like you were like being all of our wingmen and like all this stuff. Like you were fucking hammered. I was like, dude, I only had 2 drinks and that's it, you know? And my friends were all very careful when we go out to clubs and bars because of shit like that. But yeah, I've been drugged before. It wasn't,
Damn.
you know, yeah. So, um, what else? I think Maggie's mom comes home and you can tell that there was like some dry humping going on in the house, you
Oh
know?
yeah. Wait, so
And
before this, was this the point before where what is it? Maggie came home drunk and her mom was like audibly and visibly irritated at her for it and still let her go back out with her friends.
did you ever, were you ever caught drinking or doing drugs in high school?
No. I don't think I even drank in high school, to be honest.
I don't think I got caught either, you know, but I had friends that were caught, but I think my parents would whoop my ass
Yeah,
if
like
I
but her mom yells at her, but
I don't know.
and but lets her go back out with her friends.
Yeah, I mean, what's that movie Easy A with Amanda Bynes when she was banging,
Oh yeah.
right? And they're like, "You're grounded," and she's like, "What's it mean?" They're like, "I have no idea. Like, you've been a perfect kid. We don't even know how to fucking punish you. Like, what the fuck? Like, what do we do? You know, maybe that's it." She's like, "You were drinking." She's like, "Mom, you had me when you were 13." She's like, "Okay, well, I guess fucking be
That's fair.
careful."
But which and then she even throws that in her mom's face, but it's like, maybe the fact that your mom has made mistakes means that she knows what a mistake looks like and you should listen to her.
Yeah, you should say that again. I'll open up my office door and let Kane hear that. You know, excuse me. So yeah,
But sorry.
Maggie and Eric were just
Yeah.
dry humping, and the mom
Yeah.
comes in and she can smell the burning denim on her couch. You know, and mom
So this
becomes
is
like a
when
stage
she
5 clinger. So a high school kid makes a video and says to stop hanging out with her because
Oh
there's
yeah.
nothing more than a diss. Like, if me and you ever stop becoming friends, I'm gonna make a video and be like, "Hey y'all, this is Brian with a B. Don't talk to Amferny. Oh hey,
She's like, listen, bitches. Like,
hey girl, hey." No, dude,
yeah. And says
and
tells everybody to stop talking to Ma, and then she gets into an old lady fight with the old lady next to her as she's getting her pedicure done.
yeah, and she's like, "They're high school kids. Don't let them get to you. You know
Yeah.
why? Because you're an adult." Like, what the fuck? And then this is where um she bows out of the fight and she's like, "Hey guys, meet me at the rock pile. I got some shit to tell you, bro." Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
And then
this
they
is
take
when
her to the rock pile, and that's where she's like, "I have butthole cancer."
she said, well, pancreatic cancer.
Isn't that where your butthole is?
No, that's anal cancer,
Isn't that where your
Brian.
pancreas is?
No. Your pancreas is not there, but so she,
Yeah.
yeah, she
When
tells
you
him
get
she
an
has pancreatic
appendectomy, don't
cancer.
they take your butthole out?
No.
That's appendicitis.
Yeah, that's your appendix.
Yes. Your appendix, don't they go in through your butthole?
I don't know where they go in through, but they don't take out your butthole.
Every surgery you do,
They
they
take
enter
out
through
your
your
butthole.
butthole. Yeah.
But does that mean they take the butthole?
they put this thing in and it stretches it out like this, and then they can go in.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Your butt would be a windsock at that point.
And I had 3 liver transplants, and all 3 of them went through my butthole to get to my liver. And I was like, "Are you sure that this is where it is?" And they're like, "Hey, you're the one that's paying us $300 to do this surgery." And I was like, "All right then." And they're like, "You have the cash up front though, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's a weird question." So, but Ma, my cat's trying to attack me because the office door's closed and I see her little paw. That's so hilarious. She's like, "Let me in." I'm gonna take a picture of it. But so Ma tells the kid they're sick, and she gets a new kid or a new phone, and what do you call it? That's when the kids notice that she's like rocking jewelry and everything.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can see that.
Oh yeah, I see.
She's trying to put both of her paws on there. I'm going to be attacked. Send help right now. You know, so everybody sees that she's wearing those little kids' jewelry. Oh my gosh, she's getting closer.
She's wearing, like all their stuff just to like lure them back.
Yeah. So then the kids, not even reluctantly, we're like, "You know what? Let's give her another chance. Let's go have a fucking party at her house."
Yeah.
You know? And so then before they do that, the 2 girls are like, "Hey, let's break into her house and let's do some shit." So then, what do you call it? They break into Ma's house, and her entire upstairs. So it's like technically it's a 3-story house. It's a basement and then 2 stories. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So her upstairs is like a jail cell. Like it's all prisoned up and it has bars and everything like that, you know? And right there, you should be like, "You know what, Anthony? We got to get the fuck out of here, man." And nope, like, let's get in there. And you're just like,
"No, let's look through everything and nearly get caught."
How many red flags? How many fucking red flags, right? So they go up there and they see all these random ass pictures of people, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So the lies that they were doing. So when I was in 8th grade, I had this, not a girlfriend. It wasn't a girlfriend. It was just a hookup, right? I was hooking up. That's the truth. We weren't dating. We were just hooking up for a couple weekends. Like heavily hooking up, dude. You know, but I did not, my wiener never was exposed. You know what I'm saying? But
you never discovered One-Eyed Willie's gold.
Yes, he was still pure. He was still pure. So hands were around, but she was like telling the school that like we were doing everything. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, as an 8th grade boy, like I wasn't ready for that, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I was like, "No, we didn't. I didn't do that. I've still got my V card and everything like that, you know." But she was like, "Isn't it usually like the guys that tell that lie?"
I know. Like, what's to be gained?
Dude.
Especially back then.
Yeah, but she could. I'm going to hit her up real quick on Facebook. Like, "What's up? Remember me, girl? You want to fulfill those 8th grade dreams that you had?" You know? So then when they're upstairs, we didn't mention this, guys. I guess we forgot to mention it, but the first day of school, Maggie, there's this girl in a wheelchair.
Yes.
Who's like, what, her battery died or something?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even a fucking big ass ramp, you know?
No, this is not a wheelchair safe school. Like, there are places you can get stuck.
It wasn't even steep, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Her battery must have been at like 1%. Because it was like this steep.
Yeah. It's like a 1% grade.
Yeah. And so it turns out that girl is Ma's daughter.
Yes.
And that, excuse me.
She was
Ma is
perfectly normal and
fucking
not in a wheelchair weeks ago, right?
Gypsy Rose and her fucking daughter.
Yeah, this is Munchausen's by proxy.
Dude. And then, so that's fucking weird in the first place. And then this is where I said it's got to be a bigger town. Because fucking Ben, Andy's dad, takes their dog in to
Or
do
the cat.
something.
Yeah, like for the shots.
Yeah.
And it's like
And
like he invites her out to for a drink after work.
yeah, to catch up. You see, that's the part where it, he's like, you want to catch up?
Shouldn't that set off alarm bells for her? Because what happened the last time he was nice to her?
But no, see, like I was giving him the benefit of a doubt, man. Like when I was in high school, like I was very popular. I was very nice to everybody. Like that was my whole motto was like, if you're nicer to people, then you're going to have a lot more respect. You're going to have a lot more friends and everything like that. And so there was this girl, and hopefully you're listening to this. Okay. There was this girl that was always picked on. She was a very large, overweight girl. And justly so, I guess, like she just had a bad attitude, because people would always pick on her and everything. But when we were seniors, like my girlfriend at the time and my best friend, and like I said, I was friends with everybody. And the coach or the PE teacher would always make me the coach or the captain of teams. My first pick every single time was always this girl. I didn't give a fuck. Like my girlfriend could be mad at me, my best friends could be mad at me, everything like that. But I did not want this girl to be the last one picked. Like I was always so nice to her. Mm-hmm. Every time I'd see her in the hall, I'd say hi to her and everything like that. Always make sure she was the first one picked, everything like that. And she would always give me actually like, you need to fucking knock it off. I know what you're doing. Like I was like, I'm genuine. Like I'm being 100% genuine. Like I'm trying to be nice to you and everything like that. So this is going to sound really selfish of me, but when I went to the high school reunion, like I was really hoping that she was going to be there and be like, hey, you know what? I want to thank you because you weren't being an asshole like everybody else was in high school. Like you were actually nice to me,
Yeah.
But she never showed up, and so that's the part that kind of got me sad was like, I hope that I don't know. I hope that I've done something nice, at least in somebody else's life where they're like, you know what? There was one kid in high school that wasn't a fucking asshole to me. And that's it. And then if she does have like a list, like on Billy Madison, where she needs to kill people, like I'm for sure not on that list. That's the number one thing. I'm not on that murder list,
Yeah, it's a smart move, and you're being nice.
So that's why when Ben's dad was like, hey, let's catch up. I was like, you know what? That's a genuine, heartfelt, like, hey, let's catch up. You know what I'm saying? Nope. He was just a fucking prick, dude. He called her out for being, trying to hang out with his kid and all this shit. And I was just like, you know what? You're a fucking asshole, and I hope you fucking die first, man.
Okay, here's the thing. I get the protectiveness, but
hold on, wait.
He's failing to acknowledge his part in what happened years ago.
It hasn't come up yet. It hasn't come up yet.
Yeah, but like I'm not going into it deep. But like he's like, because he doesn't acknowledge that and he just comes off tough, he just looks like an asshole.
Yeah, because he comes up and he's like, you know what this is? And she's like, I don't know, a fucking cell phone? He's like, it's a tracker. And my son keeps going to your house. Why don't you talk to your son? Hey, son, why are you going to this fucking creepy weird woman's house? Yeah. Talk to your fucking son, But he wants to be a fucking prick. He's the type of dickhead in high school that like peaked in high school. Yeah. Never left the town. Ends up buying fucking a bunch of molester vans off of Craigslist. And that's what he does. And I was hoping and praying after that he was going to get his ass whooped. So then, the next scene was when Maggie's mom was hanging out with Ma.
Yeah. Ma shows up at her house, right?
Because talking about the dog, and they're trying to like
she came over to check up on their dog.
The good cop, bad cop, and trying to get the upper hand. Like, well, I think your dog's okay. I think my dog's okay. Well, you should probably give her this. I will give her that. Okay, then leave. You have a good day. You're just like, what? Like, if I saw my kid talk like that with somebody who's a stranger, I'd be like, How do you fucking
Okay,
know
what's
them?
wrong?
I'd
Yeah.
be like, quit fucking lying. You fucking
What do you?
obviously,
This is
you
the
know.
most oblivious parent because she has to tell her later that she knows her.
Yeah. Um. So then this is where it comes out now, where Ma has a flashback of the entire flashback of
Yes.
her going in and giving Ben head in the
Hmm.
bathroom
Yeah.
and the closed door and the lights off, everything like that. And clearly Ben liked it because he fucking got off. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But
Hmm.
as soon as Ben, so this is a part where I don't think that you were correct, unless you saw something, but I don't know. But Ben and her leave together out of
Okay.
the bathroom,
And then there's a
and
crowd
everybody
out
starts
there.
laughing. Oh, what?
There's a crowd outside. That's what it
Yeah,
was.
and then Ben like goes like this, like, "Ha ha! I've been with them the whole time," and she's like, you know, like you just got head from her. You're just as bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So everybody's in the halls like laughing at her and everything like that. But guess what? She got Ben, and then guess what? Ben got her. So why is she getting made fun of?
Yeah. It feels weird. Like they're doing it as like a gotcha moment, but
But at the
I
same
don't know.
time, you like if I was like, "Ha ha, Anthony, you fucking nerd, you put your finger in my ass."
But
What?
I'm the one that let
No,
you. Yeah.
we're we were both there.
Yeah.
You're just as bad as I am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We're
Like
both guilty.
hooking up with, like you hooked up with that person,
Yeah.
you know? And I don't know, like that scene, I I didn't get that scene. Like I knew what it was, but like I'm thinking back, like if I hooked up with an unattractive person as a joke, nope, you hooked up with that unattractive person.
Yeah. That was you. You did that.
Oh no, but she was doing. No, come on, no, you did it.
No, 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 you did it.
You
Yeah.
know, yeah. And then fucking Ma bodies Mercedes when
Oh,
she's out for a
damn.
run.
Wait,
She's like,
that
"Bye,
I've
bitch."
seen some car crashes
Dude,
in movies or people get run over. She gets rocked.
yeah,
Like she full speed hits her, runs her over. Like, and you see the body. There's no is she alive? She's dead.
yeah. And then, oh, this is where Ma was kind of smart because then Ma fucking lured Ben to her house, and then she drugged him, and she's gonna make sweet, sweet love to him.
This is when she starts dextering people. She's like, distraction, needle, like, and just
Yeah,
does that to a bunch of people.
yeah. And Ben clearly is a shower and not a grower. Like good for him. You know, I
Okay, so
I
this
don't know if
kill
this is gonna be too
was
much for
weird.
sure. What?
This kill is weird. Like, I get
Well,
like
she
if
didn't kill
crime
him
is
yet.
well, no, when she does, because she lures him in, she ties him up, she threatens to cut his stuff,
And
his
she
downstairs stuff.
his dick and balls,
Yeah,
his beans and what was it?
his
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 Frank
twig
and
and
beans.
berries,
He's like my
Craig
Frank
and
and beans. He's like, but
Frank
how the
and
beans get above the Frank? Fucked up. Dude, they showed that, But anyways, yeah. So good job, Ben, man.
yeah.
Proud of that guy.
But this kill kind of it's weird, and I don't know if it 100% makes sense because he's going to infuse her, or she's going to infuse him with dog blood. Which I looked that up because I had to be sure, like exactly what happens. I know it's bad, but
What
like
if he's turned into a
basically,
dog?
no. Like what would happen is if a human takes dog blood, then it's called lysis, where basically the red blood cells start to attack each other, or
Okay.
like the immune system comes in and starts to attack red blood cells indiscriminately, and basically starts taking out all your red blood cells, and like that's the important part of your blood volume. Um, and you'll like there's no it's like if enough gets in over a long period of time, you'll die, and you'll die painfully. But then he
Really?
cuts her. Yeah. But then she cuts him too. And Like, so you're going to die from bleeding before you'll ever feel the effects of the dog blood.
Is that what she was doing?
Yeah, she slashed his wrist
Okay, I
and
didn't know. Like,
injected him with dog blood.
huh? I guess I didn't understand that part then.
It's an interesting kill. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know.
But I also love when fucking bad guys and fucking dickheads are like, please, please show mercy. Fuck you. You don't get mercy, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I love it when the bad guys are getting their asses whooped and they're about to die and they're just like, I'm sorry, please forgive me. No, you know what? You wouldn't have done it. You're an asshole. You fucking deserve it. I believe in the golden rule,
Mm-hmm.
And then I really wanted my son to listen to this part, but Ma's daughter gets in trouble and then she blames it on the mom for being rude and punishing her.
Yeah.
You're just like, my son, he gets pissed off at me if he gets like grounded. He'll do something and he'll get grounded. Then he's mad at me for grounding him. I was like, son, does that make any sense? Like, yeah, you punished me. And I was like, I wouldn't have done this if you wouldn't have done this. And he's like, I don't care. You did this. And I was like, that doesn't make any goddamn sense, son. Like, yeah. I love you, but what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense.
I deal with that with patients all the time. When they do a violent thing to somebody else, they'll say, they made me do it. Or, no, you have agency over your own body and you know it's not okay to hit people.
Dude, I don't know. But yeah, that's the one part. And like, I wanted to like say that part as loud as I could. Because then he'd probably yell downstairs like, no, I don't. And he'll fucking start a fight. But then all of a sudden, for some fucking unknown reason, the OG party crew is partying at Ma's. And then guess what Ma does? She fucking drugged them. Probably with X and fucking... I said she's got them on that diazepam. And goes upstairs to drug her daughter now. And then Ma locks them all in.
Yes, locks them in the basement. And then chains them in dog collars.
But what's diazepam? Is that just a fucking... Yeah.
It's a sedative.
Yeah. So that's what she's been giving them.
Sleep. Yeah.
The entire time.
But I mean, for humans, like they use that to sleep. But you could probably also give it to dogs.
Yeah, well, Ma chains them all up and then she starts fucking shit up. Like, she does pretty fucked up stuff. Like, did she fuck that girl's face up?
She sews one girl's mouth shut with the largest gauge suturing I have ever seen in my life. Like, that's going to leave holes in her face afterwards. Paints the black guy's face white because basically she's accusing him, I guess, of selling out to be a part of their group. Like, he's showing who he is on the inside. It's like an Oreo thing, I guess.
Son of a bitch.
And then one guy gets an iron to his stomach to mess up his skin because he's too perfect.
And then this, well, I gotta say something. She started giving the bad guy talk is what we're talking about, And she does it. And then this is, see, Anthony, like, this is what we're talking about our movie, Mm-hmm. But she gave the whole bad guy talk, and she said that everyone was having fun, and they were never seeing her, even though she was like right beside them all, And so the only thing I could think of is that fucking song again, "Dancing on My Own," where it's like, I'm in the corner. What can't you see me? Ooh.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is another reason why don't be a fucking asshole to people, man.
Exactly.
And then here's the part. Remember when she fucking turned that black kid into white kid?
Yeah, just paints his face. Like,
and she's like, there's only allowed to be one black person in this crew, bruh. And like fucking paints his face white.
So she wants to be the token?
Huh? Yeah.
It's an odd thing to want to be.
Yeah. And then Ma 100 clearly 100% wants to bang Eric,
Or Andy,
Andy,
which
whatever the fuck.
he starts to sense that, and for his own survival, like plays into it.
Yeah, right. He wanted it from day one.
No, he didn't. You think he
He's like, you
wants
know what?
some 40-year-old lady that's trying to be cool?
He was pulling the stepbrothers. She's already had the old bull. Now you need to give her the young calf. Exactly what the fuck he was doing. And then they see that Ma was making her own yearbook. Like, what a fucking nerd. Like,
Yeah,
what the hell is going on? You
that
know? And
is
then
frightening.
there was like way more than enough time for everybody to escape that basement. But Ma and Jeannie was her daughter,
Genie,
right?
yeah.
They make it seem like it's like a level 100 fire. And you're just like,
Well,
it's not that
because
bad of a fire. Like,
what is it? Ma chases Genie up the stairs, or she carries Genie up the stairs, or drags her, or whatever. And then she gets knocked down the stairs and like kicks over a candle into the puddle of alcohol that the guy dropped when his bottle fell.
but again, you could have easily, this was the basement. You could have gone all the way up to the top floor, rustled around a little bit, looked for your belongings. Okay, gathered up some stuff, left. Oh, wait, forget about some other thing. Go back upstairs. You could have moonwalked out of that entire house. That's how slow the fire was. But they're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, we got to get the fuck out of here. You're like, it's okay. Like, I understand the urgency. Like, you want to get out as soon as possible, but it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's
Mhm.
not that huge of a fire, you know? But
No, it really wasn't. Not yet. But then until it gets to the water heater, and then like it's like a nuclear bomb went off.
nah, I still think because then Ma decides that. So I guess we'll talk about it after that. Ma decides that blowing that guy in high school was fucking way too much to bear. And so she just decides to go all the way upstairs and lay in bed with Ben. And
Oh,
she's going
that's
to die
his
there.
after the daughter. Because what is it? The mom and her coworker rescue the daughter, or rescue them, and open the what is it? The basement or exit on the way out of the
There was
house.
no need to save anybody. They could have all nonchalantly walked out at any given
But
moment.
nobody could get through the front door. That was the problem.
They probably
Um,
were pulling it instead of pushing it. Like, honestly, dude, they had more than enough time to fucking get out of the house, go down the street, grab a bucket of water, and come back and throw it on the fire, and it would have been good. Because when
yeah,
Ma went upstairs to lay down with Ben to die, I was like, that's not going to work. Like, there's going to clearly be a number two because that fire is going to be put out by like natural wind or something. Like, it's not going to make it to the third floor of your house,
in
and it's
the
not going to
plains of
burn you.
Kansas.
You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
know, so that was the end of the movie. That Ma goes
but
and lays down by
there's
her.
that there's that key moment though before that happens where the daughter is like, I'm not like my mom. I do the right thing, kind of thing, and like stabs Ma before she goes upstairs. Because this is around that time that the whole idea started where, like, just because you weren't part of the action, you were near it and you didn't do anything to stop it, so you co-signed what they were doing. It's like, no, that's
What
that's not
if?
what happened.
What if number two comes out and it's like Ma left a letter? And it's like, okay, look, like, you remember that SNL skit, like "Dear Brother,"
Yeah,
where they just kept
Shia
shooting
LaBeouf.
each other?
Yeah,
Dude, what if that's what it's like? Okay, I'm gonna get some high school kids drunk, and then I'm gonna paint one of the black kids' faces white. Then you stab me, and next year you'll be really popular. Like, it's all planned out. Ma fucking did it.
yeah.
Now her daughter's like, but it's gonna be really weird. But trust me on this, okay? You have to be in a wheelchair this year in high school. Next year you can walk, but this year you can't. Okay? I know it doesn't make sense, but
Just go with
trust the
it.
process.
Yeah.
Trust the fucking process. You know. But here's the question: do you think that fucking Eric was Jeannie's dad?
Eric.
Who the
You mean
fuck?
Andy?
Ben.
Ben?
Why the fuck do I
No.
keep calling him Eric?
No, I don't think so because she said the dad left years ago. So it's probably
She
some guy she
said,
met in town.
I don't know, because she kind of made that comment where, like, don't get with Andy because boys only want one thing. And then they leave. So I don't know. We never know who fucking Jeannie's dad is. But
No.
for some reason,
I feel like maybe we just don't need to.
she
We just
resents.
need to know she's scorned.
I'm going to say it's Ben's. I'm going to say Ben and her hooked up.
Well, potentially with the ease with which he was able to get her to go back or to go out for a drink with him. This felt
Maybe.
like very casual.
But I kind of support Ma, man. Don't be a bully. Don't be a fucking piece of shit.
Exactly.
Like, this is going to sound really bad, but a lot of the school shootings that happen, like, a lot of it's due to bullying.
Yes.
Don't fucking bully. It's that easy. Like, you know me. Like, I'm a fucking 6'2". I'm a bigger guy. Like, fucking, why bully? Don't be a bitch. Don't fucking bully. And then my last note, and I should have taken a better note, the closing song was the shit.
Oh yeah, I forget the name of the song, but no, like this soundtrack is.
Sing it.
I do not remember the lyrics.
We're gonna have to look it up real quick. Hold on, folks. Can we like clip something in right now where it's like "be right back" and it like does that whole do?
I could. That would be some work.
No. Closing song in Ma. Ma end credits. Hold on. I have to listen to it. I don't know what's going on. The fuck is this song? Oh, hell yeah!
Yeah.
Remember, Ma was singing that during the fucking...
Yeah, they kind of build towards that, and it's a nice moment. Otherwise, it would feel weird in the credits.
Yeah.
It's so tonally different from everything.
Yeah. That was a fucking... I'm gonna have to put that on my motherfucking playlist, bruh.
Yeah.
Spotify playlist. Yeah. But... I
really like this movie.
I fucking loved this movie, dude.
It was very good.
Solid.
Yeah. All right. Ready to close this out?
Yeah. If you made it this far, don't be a bully.
Yeah. Be nice.
We should say something like, if you're a bully, we don't like you.
Well,
we should put a stand, When I run for president in 4 years, what's funny? President Ding and fucking VP Sulfur. There we go. Could that ever happen?
I don't think we have the money to win.
We don't need money. We have followers.
Not enough. Not enough.
Dude, could you imagine there's like, hey, like when we're doing a debate on stage, like, how come in this one movie you said something about somebody's dick and balls? I'll be like, it was pretty funny, Yeah. Dude, we're never going to be able to run for president because of this fucking podcast.
Never.
Thanks.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
Yes. Thank you, everybody.